Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. The old "you're assuming I give a damn" stance. But it worked 16 hours straight, bored as hell, and you stepped on the last nerve. Let's dance. They usually give it to me for free. I work at a gas station. We get our fair share of crazies on a daily basis, and I could tell you hundreds of stories, but today I'll tell you just one. This one happened around 9 years ago. So on this day, it was early in the morning before the sun was even up, and third shift was nearly over. I was tired and ready to leave because I just pulled a double because the third shifter decided not to show up. All alone in the store, I was pretty much just getting ready for the soon-to-come morning rush. A lady walks in carrying one of the coffee mugs we sell at our stores. When you bring it in and fill it up, we charge it as a refill, and you save some money. She gets over to the coffee pots, looks at me, looks at them, looks back at me, and says, "There's not enough coffee." Now, I just made 2 fresh pots of each type of coffee we have, so there was plenty of coffee. Needless to say, I was confused. I walk over here and look to make sure I wasn't losing my mind, and sure enough, the coffee was all still there. I tell her, "Ma'am, I just made all these pots of coffee not too long ago. It's all fresh, and you can take as much as you'd like." She replied with, "No, there's not enough to fill my mug. You need to make more. Do it quickly." I see she has a 32-ounce mug, and our coffee pots are 30 ounces each, so we had 60 ounces total of the kind she wanted, more than enough to fill her mug. I inform her of this, and she starts to get agitated, saying, "No, I come here all the time, and it takes 3 pots to fill my mug. Would you please make me another one?" At this point, I give up and start brewing another pot of coffee. 6 minutes later, all the coffee is all brewed up. She takes it and fills her mug up. 1 whole pot goes in, and she smiles at me as if she'd proven I was an idiot. She grabs a second pot and pours barely any in, leaving nearly 2 full pots. As much as I want to rub it in her face that I was right, I hold my tongue and wait for her to get to the counter so I can ring her out. She puts the cap on her mug and casually starts walking out the door before I stopped her. She looks at me funny and says, "What? They usually give it to me free when I have to wait." "Not today, lady." I tell her, "Well, miss, we actually aren't allowed to do that. The only time we can do that is when the coffee is old and the customer's forced to wait. You requested a pot of coffee while there were 2 fresh pots available. I'm going to have to charge you for it." Now the show begins. For this part of the story, CCL will stand for Crazy Coffee Lady. CCL: "What? This is ridiculous. There wasn't enough coffee." Me: "No, ma'am, there was plenty of fresh coffee available for you to use. It seems you may have misjudged just how big our coffee pots are." CCL: "No, I come here every day. It always takes 3. You must have made them bigger." Me: "Well, I did tell you that the pots were 30 ounces each." CCL: "I've been coming to this store for years, and this is how you treat me? How much is it?" Me: "That'll be $1.07. Do you have your rewards card?" CCL: "What? How? I thought it was 95 cents. You're just trying to rip me off." Me: "No, ma'am, that's just the tax added to the total." CCL: "I'm not paying for this." She gives me a smug look, then I take her coffee mug and place it out of her reach behind the counter. Me: "Well, miss, I'm sorry, but I can't let you leave with free coffee. I can go dump this coffee out if you want and give you your mug back. Are you sure you don't want the coffee?" CCL: "Give me back my mug. This is theft. I'll call the cops." Me: "Are you wanting to buy the coffee?" CCL: "Fine. Yes, I'll buy it. Just don't expect to ever see me in here again. This is terrible service. As expected from a gas station, I suppose." Music to my ears. I love it when people say, "I'll never come back." Makes me feel amazing after interactions like this. Me: "All right then, like I said before, the total's $1.07. Do you have your rewards card?" CCL: "Look, I don't have the cash on me right now. I've gone through enough. Can't you just let me have it? It's only coffee." Me: "Sorry, ma'am, I can't do that." I took her mug to the sink and poured out all the coffee. I shed a single tear as I wished it safe journey. She flips out one last time at me saying, "Really? You're just gonna pour it out instead of giving it to me? I'm gonna call corporate and get you fired." She stormed out of the building, got in her truck, and peeled out of the parking lot. I had a good laugh and couldn't wait for the first shifters to get there so I could tell them this story. We get people like this every so often that think they're clever and can get free stuff out of us, but not at my gas station you won't, especially if you don't have your rewards card. And our second story. Leaves 2 kids at computer store to go shopping. I was assistant manager for a small but busy computer store in downtown Portland, Oregon. For those familiar with the area, the store was about a half block off Pioneer Square. I'm running the store on a sunny afternoon and I notice a couple of kids playing on one of the display computers, a boy and a girl, but I don't think anything of it as there are several parent-age adults in the store. I head to the stockroom to drop off a couple of returned products and then head back to the front cash area to grab a few more things. I'm in the back room for about 15 or 20 minutes printing out RMAs and taking care of paperwork. I come back out, look around, and no adult customers are in the store, but the 2 kids are. I walk up to my sales associate and ask if he knows anything about the kids. He has no clue. They've been there a while. About this time, the girl comes up and asks if she could use the bathroom. Now, our employee bathroom was employee only because to get to it, you had to run a gauntlet through backstock and office supplies and cleaning equipment. So I gently explained that there's not a bathroom that she can use, and I asked where her parents are. She didn't know, but her brother did. I asked how old she was, 7. And how old is her brother, 9. I talked to the brother and find out that mom dumped the kids at the store and then left and went shopping at Nordstrom's. Did they have a phone number for her? Nope. They were just told to wait there. They were sweet kids and being well behaved, but downtown Portland isn't a place where you just leave your kids unattended. I'm not one of these overprotective parent types. In fact, I lean a little free range. If this had been a park or kid-friendly place, or if they had a way to get a hold of her, I wouldn't have cared. But I didn't want to take responsibility for them in my store. If she would have asked if they could stay and play, I would have told her no. At this time, they've been there at least 45 minutes, according to my sales associate, so we call the downtown security number. Not the police, but more like mall security for the downtown area. I explained that there were 2 children in my store, no adult with them, and I wasn't sure what to do. The security team showed up about 15 minutes after I called, questioned me and my sales associate, then start talking to the kids. All told at this point, these 2 small children have been left in a store downtown for over an hour, and in walks a lady, Starbucks in hand, a golden retriever on a leash. Yes, she'd kept a dog with her, but had dumped her kids in a random store. When she sees the cops in the store, her eyes get wide. "Are you those children's mother?" I demanded in probably the most pissed-off voice to ever come out of my throat. "Yes, what's going on?" she kind of stammered. "What the hell are you thinking leaving them unattended in a store?" They were fine. They like the computers. I was just across the street. I was totally flummoxed. This isn't a daycare. We had no idea where you were. They could have walked out of here with anyone. What if one of them was hurt? They didn't even know how to reach you. She was looking at me like she couldn't believe I wasn't willing to be responsible for her little darlings and was very angry that I'd called security. About this time, the security guys realized that crazy mom was there and walked up with her kids in tow and escorted the whole group outside. Sales associate and I watched through the window while she did a great show of crying and hand-wringing as they were talking to her. And our next story. F this place, I'm rich. I work for a construction company and we do remodeling on homes. We have a rule here that we get to keep anything we find hidden behind the walls. We hired this guy. We really needed a worker badly, who was a total a-hole from day one. I've been working for this company for 5 years, and this guy had only been doing construction for a year, after he got fired from his accounting job for getting a DUI. Anyway, he'd always make fun of my clothes and my accent, and one day went too far by telling my boss about my private Instagram account pics. He got on my phone and looked through my Instagram page and showed my boss pictures of me smoking weed. Little did he know, my boss is my friend from 8 years ago when we used to smoke weed together before we both quit. I was so mad that he violated my privacy, so I made a plan to F him over. He was the kind of guy who'd always come in late and complain that trains or traffic is why he was always late. One day I overheard him saying that if he won the lottery, he'd quit this job for not getting the respect he deserves. You have to earn your respect around here. One day I bought some fake gold coins online and put them in a metal box. I found them at an antique store and waited for the chance to hide it in a wall. Luckily, I didn't have to wait long.
The day he found the coins, it seemed like it was his best day ever. First thing he did when he opened the box, he called my boss a effing loser and quit immediately on the spot. He said, "F this place, I'm rich." LOL, little did he know that was the best day of my life. After he quit, my boss told us that he was going to fire him anyway for always showing up late. I wish I could have seen the look on his face when he found out that the gold coins were fake. Best $40 I ever spent in my life. I apologize for my grammar. This just happened today and my adrenaline is pumping hard. Edit. These houses are bought at auction. People don't live here, so everything is owned by the construction company.
And our last story. HOA sued to have us join and lost. We bought a house in 2015, and we made damn sure that it's not part of an HOA. Soon after moving in, the HOA started sending us documents about joining, which we completely ignored. We were even visited once by the president of the HOA, and my husband made it clear to him that we have no intention of joining. In June 2016, we received a letter that said the HOA is considering legal action against us to have us join. By living here, we're benefiting from the HOA's work without paying for it, and it's a financial burden on every other member. The letter insisted that a legal action can be avoided if we agree to join. We ignored it. The president visited us again in July 2016 and said the same thing, when we pretty much told him, "See you in court." They indeed took legal action against us earlier this year, and we hired a lawyer and went to court. Their motion was dismissed immediately. We thought it's the end of it, but to make sure, we had our lawyer send them a cease and desist letter to stop this constant harassment. Now we received a letter from them saying we need to reimburse their legal fees of about $3,700 according to Article X, Section Y of the HOA's CC&Rs, with a copy of the CC&Rs. The reference paragraph says something along the lines of, "The association is entitled to recovery of fees incurred by bringing legal action against the homeowner as deemed necessary by the board to enforce the CC&Rs and preserve the best interests of the community." Out of the $3,700, $2,000 is related to their fees for suing us, and the remaining $1,700 are the demand letters that they've been sending us during all these times. So we decided to ignore the HOA until they sued us. We then countersued for our fees and expenses. The HOA lost because they can't enforce the provisions of a contract that we're not part of. Bonus, the HOA's even deeper in the hole. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.